Okay, so this is gonna be kind of a vlog, a little bit of a vlog today. So about a week ago, I guess I sold the last mower that we flipped. So I've been diligently looking for a new mower to work on, trying to find one at a good price, close by, and that seemed reasonable to purchase. Well, it's taken a little bit longer than I had hoped. I don't like not having a project to work on for an entire week, but we finally found one. It was a little bit further than I wanted to drive, but this one was a really good deal. And I felt pretty comfortable that they knew what they're talking about. They even said they would start it for us when we got there. Now, I didn't have them start it for us, so I could be at risk. They were having a yard sale, and there was a lot of people around, and I didn't want to try to maneuver that around all the people and make a big scene, because I'm not a people person. So hopefully my instincts that this thing is going to work is okay, but it's not stuck. That was a big deal. And the other thing is he said he would start it, so yeah, that's a pretty bold statement. I went ahead and got it for $100. Now, you know, that's getting up there in price. I don't want to, it's almost half my budget. But the nice thing is it came with a second mower deck. Look at that. So there's a mower deck on it. And it comes with another mower deck, and at just the first glance of looking at it, it looks like the spindles are okay. I don't see, I mean, it's hard to see completely because there's a lot of cobwebs and stuff on them, but it looks like they're okay. The blades look like they're okay. I don't think they're bent. We'll look at this one again. Yeah, that one's bent right there. It must be bent because when you look at this, it's on the inside, but then when we come back around, that's on the outside right there. So that's okay. I can straighten the blade. That's not the worst thing in the world. This one seems pretty straight. So I do need to analyze this one a little better, the spindle. If it's bent, it typically means that it hit a rock. Yeah. It doesn't mean it necessarily broke the spindle, but it could have. So we'll have to check this one also, make sure it's okay. Now, he did admit that this is not going up, and my guess is the cable is froze. So yeah, I think that's 15 or 20 bucks. It's not terrible. He's tried to put in a new ignition coil, but I'm a little concerned he doesn't know what he's doing, or it's not the ignition coil. So he put in a new one. It's not bolted in right. He says it needs a ground, but I already looked and it has a ground. So he's got this big huge bolt sticking out here. That's the ignition coil, or solenoid. I keep saying coil, it says solenoid. So it could be the key switch. So we'll get the voltmeter out and we'll check all that to see what it's doing. It could be that he's disconnected the seat switch also. That could be a problem. So we might have to, yeah, that's not going to work like that. I think you gotta have this plugged in. That might be the issue. I'll plug that in just to eliminate that problem. Doesn't have a battery, but I went to Walmart as we was going to get this to pick one up. I know you're not supposed to buy Walmart batteries, but this is a flip. As long as I can get it started for the customer, that's all I care about. So we're gonna get this off the truck and we'll put the battery in it and see what it does. Okay, so there's our new battery. I just got it just a little bit ago. I'm going to check the voltage just to make sure that it's not dead. Sometimes you can get them from the store and they are dead. You got to charge them or take them back, depending on if you can get it charged, you don't need to take it back. But okay, so we're at 12.77. I'll move it down so you can see it. 12.77. So the bare minimum you're going to want is about 12.3. 12.2, your battery is starting to be on the dead side of things. So 12.77 is about max, actually. 12.9 is about as high as you want to see off the charger. So the battery is in excellent shape. Okay, so there's no bolts on it, so I had to scrounge some up. Figure out the best way to do this. I think that's it. I didn't have any washers, so I'm going to use a lock washer, which isn't going to hurt anything. Okay, so I'm going to turn the key on, see if I make sure to hear the carburetor solenoid right here. I want to hear that, and I also want to see if I can hear the starting solenoid, see if there's anything wrong with that. We'll see. I hear the starting solenoid, but I do not hear this one. So I'm going to check the carburetor, see if it's filling up with gas. No, I don't see any gas. It may not start. It doesn't have an air filter either. Maybe I'm not hearing things correctly. That could be a problem. Maybe I'm... Okay, so we don't have anything. Okay, so we'll have to get the jumper cables out. Okay, so I can see that we have a wiring nightmare. So this mower, I went to look at the mower deck safety switch and I don't see one down there. But then I saw this laying down in there. And what this traces out to is the ignition coil, which has been disconnected. And the reason you disconnect that is because you're trying to bypass it. There's no way to shut it off now. It'll start without this wire on, but there's no way to shut it off. So that's an issue. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to jump it, but not the typical way. I'm not going to hit the battery cables up to the battery and then take it to the car. I'm going to jump it from the battery of the lawnmower straight to the starter. That bypasses the key switch and the starting solenoid. Starting solenoid. So what you do is you put your positive. I guess I took care of that. That's not supposed to work that way, but it did work. Okay, so we'll turn the key on. We'll put it on choke. Glad my hands are out of the way. I'm not understanding that. We're already grounded. Well, the starter has an issue. This thing's becoming an electronic nightmare. Yeah, it's bent. I can see it. Okay, so it started, but I had to jump it from the truck to the starter. So instead of turning the key, I had to jumper it to the starter. So that could mean a couple things. It could mean that the compression relief is bad. It could mean that the valves need adjusted, or it could mean it's just a weak starter. And I'm not really sure where to proceed just yet. I got to think about this for a bit. I don't want to just start buying parts just to be buying parts. I mean, the starter does seem a little funky, so we'll give that a look-see and see if there's something to that. But the lawnmower battery just wasn't strong enough to turn it over. So I will take the battery out and I'm going to take it down there and get it charged up to see if that makes any difference. See if the battery's at least weak. I don't think it is, but we'll see. So the switch works. So they have disconnected this from the key switch, so that's going to be a challenge to say the least. I'm wondering if I should just go ahead and put a push button in there. So I'm going to try to start it again, this time off its own battery now that it's warmed up. Okay, so there's no electricity going to the key. So all right, so the best I can tell by sitting here and examining it for a bit is the safety switches started to stop working. And as a result, they started rewiring. So when they hooked this up, what they did here was hook this up to that ignition coil. So they had a way to shut off the engine. And the reason they did that was because they bypassed, I'm not really sure what they bypassed. So I'm not really sure how they got it started. They may have just started it like I did with the jumper in the starter, because the switch might be bad, or the key switch might be bad also. So I think what I'm going to do now is stop for now and think about what I want to do. I don't think the solenoid to the carburetor is working. I got to check that. Actually, I guess I could check it right now. I think it comes off. We could probably check it right now. We'll see. Well, I'm sure it's not working. It's stuck in the open position, I'm pretty sure. Yep. They've tore into it. Ground into it or something. It's not vital that works. Oh my goodness, look at that. They've got a screw holding in the, what is that? The governor. That is the governor, and it's rubbing up against the choke. So I think I'm just going to think about this for a while. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video where it's working on something. So I hope I can inspire you to think about it. So you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.